Namaste. In this class, we're going to really focus on the glutes. So that's your butt muscles. Not just the gluteus maximus, which is the really big one at the back that we think of when we think of butt muscles, but specifically the gluteus medius, which is the one that, smaller one that wraps around the side of the hips here, and it has a tendency to be a little bit lazy. And I hope that you can approach this as not only a standalone class that you can do with me here, but also something that you can take with you to other classes that you go to or other classes that you take to make sure that the glutes and specifically that gluteus medius is really firing and working for you. So we're going to begin in a tabletop position. So come to all fours. And just to begin with, I want you to bring a little bit of awareness first to what's happening in the belly, because straight away, maybe you're sinking down a little bit, no activation here in the core. And we need that to be active as well to really feel what's happening in the glutes. So make sure that as you move through these different postures, these different exercises, you're keeping the core active. So that's a matter of keeping the rib cage cinched inwards rather than letting it flare out. And if you don't really understand what I mean by that, it can be worth grabbing your phone to video yourself and have a look at what's happening in your posture. So you can see the difference with me here, perhaps just letting my core muscles go and then just cinching them in. So from here, with that TVA, the transverse abdominis muscle, holding everything in at the front, and we'll extend the right leg back. So take a moment here, just make sure that this movement hasn't been accommodated by an opening through the front of the body, but the core muscles are staying cinched in. And feel here the activation that's occurring through the back of the right leg and into the glutes on the back to allow you to lift the leg up. Maybe it's already feeling like hard work. Flex the right foot and then bend the knee so that you bring your foot to face upwards towards the ceiling. Keep a little bit of your mind on the abdominals. And then with the front of your body really solid and not moving, can you lift the right leg up a little bit higher? So as if you're trying to get your foot to touch the ceiling. And then just lower it down. Inhale, lift it back up. Exhale, lower it down. 2 more, inhale, lift it up. Exhale, lower it down. Last one. Inhale, lift it up. And we'll extend it back behind. 1 more time. And bend the knee. Now, next, with the right leg still up, we're going to take it out to the side. So bringing some external rotation into the hip, like a dog about to pee on something. And bring the right knee towards the shoulder. And then extend it back. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the right knee to the right shoulder. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, knee to shoulder, out to the side. Inhale, bring it back. Good, lower it down. Maybe shake it out. So we'll repeat on the other side. Again, cinch the abdominal muscles in, the rib cage in, and begin to extend the left leg back. Now, again, bring awareness to your abdominals. Make sure that that hasn't opened up here to accommodate this movement. So you're probably feeling, if you do allow the ribs to flare out, you can get the leg higher. But I don't know about you, for me, whenever I bring some awareness to the front of my body, then I also feel more activation through the glute because it's having to work harder to lift the leg up. Okay, so bend the left knee behind you, flex the foot, keep your pelvis in line with the ribs with that abdominal engagement, but then use your glutes to lift the foot up towards the ceiling as if you're trying to place your foot flat on the ceiling. Inhale, exhale, lower the knee down. Inhale, lift it up, foot to the ceiling, exhale, lower it down. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, lower it down. Last one. Inhale, lift it up. Now exhale, bring the left knee to the left shoulder. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, forward, left knee, left shoulder. Inhale, bring it back. Think about dog peeing on something. So you want the leg to be as high up as you can. Left knee, left shoulder. Inhale, bring it back. Extend it back behind you. Lower it down. Good. Don't worry about it if you catch yourself going into this shape as well. I know I do it. Just try and have that awareness as well as the glutes as you're moving through these. And correct if you do catch yourself opening up through the rib cage. All right, so we're going to do that again, but add a little bit of intensity by straightening the leg. Now, if that feels like it's going to be too much for you, feel free to repeat what we just did with the knee bent. But if you want to step it up a bit, keep the leg straight. So we'll start again with the right leg. Cinch the rib cage in. Take an inhale. As you exhale, swing the leg over to the right side of you, keeping it as high up as you can. Exhale, bring it back. Now, I say swing, but we're going to move really slowly. So take an inhale and exhale. Bring the right leg forward as far as you can. Keep it as high up off the mat as you can. Exhale, bring it back. Whenever we move slowly, we have to work harder. Inhale, exhale, bring it forward. Good. Here, we're going to just hold it for 3 breaths, lifting it up as high as you can. Just really getting that gluteus medius to work, getting a feel for how it works for us. Good. And lower it down. So if you were unsure about where your gluteus medius was before, now I'm sure you know it's the one that's screaming at you right now. So with the right leg out to the side of you and straight, begin to just bring your weight back onto the left knee. Turn now your right foot out to face the side and bend in the knee. Bring your hand to the right knee to just keep it tracked in line with the hip and the ankle and not falling inwards. Bring a little bit of activation into the glutes. Bring the core in. Take an inhale. As you exhale, just lean over to the right. Stretch, a very active stretch into that right hip. Inhale as you shift back over to the left. Exhale over to the right. Last one, inhale, shift over to the left. Exhale, shift to the right. Good. Inhale back to the left. Now, can you bring all of your weight into the left knee? Pick up your right leg and then just bring the right foot to the front of the mat. Once you're here, place the outside of the right foot down onto the mat and begin bending into the right knee again. Bring your hands down and find a nice little stretch here, but keep the glutes active, keep the core active, lift the pelvic floor up so everything's nice and active as we push the hips gently down towards the mat. in this stretch, which I hope feels really nice for you. You can here add, placing the right hand on the right knee, a little bit of a twist, bringing your gaze around towards the left foot behind you. Just make sure that you're not completely relaxing in the glutes, but keeping them active. This not only protects the joints, but it's teaching the nervous system that the muscles have a use in this range of motion by keeping them active. As soon as we relax, we don't get that same signal from the brain to the muscles. We'll come back forward. Shuffle your foot over to the edge of the mat. Place your right hand down. Lift the left leg back behind you. Begin pressing your right knee into your right shoulder, or whatever part of your right arm your knee is at, so that you can use that to help release the right foot off the mat. Take an inhale. Good. As you exhale, step it back into a plank. Now, with both feet down for now in your plank, I want you to bring some awareness back to your abdominals. Make sure that you're cinching in, not letting it go, and keeping that nice solid form through your plank. Maybe you want to lift the right leg up because we're still working that right glute, and then flow through a vinyasa here. So keep the right leg lifted as you lower down to the mat. You can do Chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, come up to maybe a baby cobra or maybe an upward facing dog, but lift the right knee up off the mat. Maybe you bend the right knee as well. Inhale, exhale. Can you bring yourself all the way back into a three-legged downward facing dog with that right leg up in the air? Inhale. As you exhale, just lower the right foot down, lower the knees down, back into a tabletop, back to where we started, ready for the other side. Don't worry about it if that vinyasa was a little bit intense for you. It takes a lot of practice to move through a vinyasa like that with just one leg down. Good, so again, cinch it all in at the front, and then extend the left leg back behind you. Remember, you can do this with the left knee bent, like we did before, but if you want a little bit more of a challenge, keep it straight. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bring it over to the left side of you, as high up off the floor as you can. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale to the front, as far forward as you can get it, as high as you can. Inhale back. Exhale forward. We'll do one more. Inhale back. Keep the rib cage in. And exhale forward. Then we'll just hold it up here for 3 breaths. Even if the foot is getting closer and closer to the floor, as long as the intention is there, you're telling that muscle to work for you just by trying. Good. Lower it down. So we'll shift the weight back onto the right knee. Place your hands on your hips, and then turn the left foot to face over to the left, the left knee pointing up towards the ceiling. Bring your hand to the left knee, and as you bend, inhale before you go, exhale, bend into the left knee, making sure that the left knee stays in line with the hip and the foot. Inhale back onto the right knee. Exhale, shift over towards the left. Inhale back. Exhale over to the left. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Nice stretch there. Good. We'll come back. Hands to the hips. I like to bring my hands to my hips sometimes anyway, just to make sure that I've still got this activation. And then, if you can, lift the leg up to bring it out in front of you. It's okay though if you need to do something different to get here with the left leg extended out in front of you. Now start to bend into the knee, lifting the foot up so you're just on the outside of the left foot. As you bring your weight forward towards the left foot, keeping the glutes active as you do so, and then down onto the fingertips. So still lots of activation through the glutes. Another thing that we benefit from whenever we have activation is the muscles work as agonists and antagonists with each other, and all that means is that when one muscle lengthens, the other muscle contracts, and so by keeping the right glutes active, in this situation we're helping to open up the right hip flexors. So again, just like before, you can take your hand to the left knee and add a twist here, maybe glancing over your shoulder over at the right leg extended back behind you. Just make sure you keep the glutes active, core active, pelvic floor lifting up. Inhale. Exhale, come back to center, shuffle the left foot over to the edge of the mat, bring your hands down under your shoulders, tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee up, and begin to press the left knee into the left shoulder so that you can shift your weight into your hands, release the left leg back behind you. Take an inhale here. Exhale, bring yourself back to plank. Again, take a moment, make sure that your core is active. What we're kind of looking for is the same curvature of the spine that you would have if you're just standing up. So not losing your form, but that nice healthy S curve of the spine. And then not losing any of that, can you bring the left leg up? Take an inhale. As you exhale, lower down. You can do knees, chest, chin, or Chaturanga with me. Inhale. Maybe a baby cobra is what you're after, or upward facing dog. Squeeze the shoulder blades together behind you. Inhale. As you exhale, lift up into a three-legged downward facing dog. And then exhale, lower everything down. Good. So here in your downward facing dog, it may feel really good to just push the hips over to one side and then the other. Give the glutes a chance to just relax a little bit now. Take a little break. All right, and when you're ready, we'll move back over to give that right glute a workout. So we'll lift the right leg up, rib cage cinched in. Inhale. As you exhale, bring the right leg over to the side. You can bend the knee or keep it straight. Think about taking up as much space as you can, moving nice and slowly, and can you step the right foot to the outside of the right hand? And we're going to go all the way back up to that three-legged downward facing dog. So this is just a variation on whenever we step forward from our three-leg down dog to our lunge. An option that we can take is to bring the leg out to the side, taking up as much space as you can, keeping that leg as high as you can, and step it to the outside instead. That way we get that activation through the gluteus medius. Let's go back, three-legged down dog one more time. Inhale, exhale, swing it around to the side, and step it to the outside of the right hand. Now just here in your lizard stretch, we're going to take a little hop off of the left foot to bring it to the front of the mat outside of the left hand and sink down into a little squat. Squeeze your glutes here. Lift the pelvic floor up. So just as I mentioned before, with the muscles acting as agonists and antagonists with each other, you might find that when you squeeze your glutes here in this malasana, in this squat, it feels quite different. Maybe you're able to feel like you go a little bit deeper into this squat just by activating the glutes. Keep the glutes active as you stand up, and shuffle the feet in to hip width distance. Keep the glutes active, keep the core active. Reach the arms up. Inhale. With the glutes engaged, as you exhale, fold down all the way down into your standing forward fold, your Uttanasana. And once you get there, take a moment to feel if you've lost that activation through the glutes or if you can still feel your glutes firing. It's a bit of a strange feeling sometimes to engage the glutes whenever we're in forward fold, but we can do it. So what we're going to do is use that activation of the glutes to lift ourselves all the way back up to standing. Press down through the big toes. Make sure that your weight is evenly distributed in your feet. So big toes active, heels down, little micro bend in the knees. Squeeze your glutes as you stand back up. And I'm sure that you're feeling the leg muscles working for you as well. Reach up tall, look up. Take an inhale. Exhale, we're going to fold back down one more time, using that activation through the back of the legs, through the glutes. Uttanasana. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, bend the knees. Take a little hop back to plank. Squeeze the glutes and flow through a vinyasa so that we meet in downward facing dog. Lovely. Let's lift up the left leg. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bring the left leg out to the side of you, keeping it as high up as you can. You can bend the knee or keep it straight, and eventually place the left foot down to the outside of the left hand. Go all the way back up into your three-legged down dog. And exhale, back. And exhale, bring the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Take up as much space to the side of you as you can as you bring the foot around. And we'll go back up. I like to move slowly so that I can really feel my muscles working and understand what's happening. It's about understanding it. Let's go back one more time. Out to the side as you bring the leg back behind you. Inhale and exhale. Last time. Whew. To that lizard lunge. Good. We'll take a little hop off the right foot to come into our malasana one more time. Hands at heart center, elbows pressing into the knees. Activate the glutes. Lift the pelvic floor up. Breathe. And with those glutes active, begin to stand up. Shuffle the feet, hip width distance. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, with the glutes working for you. Big toes pressing down into the mat. Fold down, Uttanasana. Come all the way back up. Squeeze the glutes. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze as you stand up. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to step back. Just come to stand in the center of the mat. Bring your hands to your hips. I like to do this. Helps me remember to keep everything cinched in. Shift your weight into the right foot. Back behind you with the toes pointed so that the leg is just down, kind of just to support you at this point. But more or less all of your weight is in your right foot. Now, extend your left arm out in front of you so it's parallel to the floor. And just a few times, can you move just from the hip joint to lower the chest and the left hand down and allow the left leg to extend behind you. So nothing's moving, you're not folding to accommodate this or anything like this. It's like you're like a statue, except just the right hip joint is moving. So get a feel for that. And what you're probably feeling is your right glute really working, hopefully, towards the outside here as well. So it's not just one muscle doing all the work, but we're getting them all kind of fired and switched on. So if that feels like it's enough for you, you can just stick with that movement. But if you want to take it a little step further, what we'll do is begin with the same movement that we did, but just go all the way, as if you're trying to pick up something off the floor. Touch the hand down and lift back up. Inhale. Exhale. Lower down. Don't worry about it if you are wobbling. Come back up. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale. Whew. And come back up. Maybe shake it out. So if you're wobbling all over the place, don't worry about it, because that just means that gluteus medius is still kind of figuring out what to do. But bring awareness to it. So you know how it feels if you've gotten this far. I'm sure you know exactly which muscle it is. So just think about that muscle working for you. We'll do the same on the other side. So shift the weight into your left foot, right leg extended back behind you. Bring your right hand so it's parallel to the floor. Find activation through not just your glutes, but also your core, cinching the rib cage in. Take an inhale and play around with just that initial movement of only hinging through the left hip. So everything else in your body is like a statue, not moving. If that's enough for you, repeat. If you want to take it up a notch, go all the way down. Bring your right hand down and then lift it back up. Inhale. Exhale, lower it down. You're doing a great job. Inhale, lift it up. Last one. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale. Whew, lift it up. Good. Shake it out. Bring the feet wider than hip width distance. Toes pointing out slightly. Squeeze the glutes one last time to lower down into a squat. And from here, I invite you to move on with the rest of your practice. Maybe take some little hip openers, some Baddha Konasana, pigeon type moves that are going to feel really good after that massive glutes workout. As I mentioned before, do think about bringing some of these into your regular yoga practice so that the gluteus medius really begins to switch on for you as well, because it does like to be a little bit lazy. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you very much. Namaste.